This is what we're talking about today. MVP V1 and V2 from Innokin. Let's take a look at them. Alright, so this is my first versus video. I don't really know how I'm going to do this. I'm going to figure it out on the go. Hope you guys stay with me. The MVPs, V1, V2. Basically the same exact thing. Basically. There are a few key differences which I'm going to show you. So the V1, you have a flush button, clicky button. Listen. Alright. And as you can see while I'm at the button, three clicks turns it off. 3 clicks, you get your light show, turns it back on. You have here your puff counter and your volts. It's variable voltage from 3.3 all the way up to 5 volts. It does not round robin, but you do have 2 buttons, an up and a down button. Also, charging port, it's an internal battery, USB port, and that is for charging any external device such as an iPhone, Android device, tablet, what have you. Anything that has a USB charger, you can plug into this baby, flip this little switch to on, and it will charge it for you. Just a few key specs. 26 milliamp or 2600 milliamp rechargeable battery. The USB is a USB 2.0 output. Charging 3.3 to 5 volts. Already said that. Standard 510 connection. Also has ego threading, so as you can see the Kanger T3S is ego threaded. Fits on there fine. Let me throw a Cardo tank on here. That is a 510 connection. That fits on there fine, just like that. Works great. They do come in 3 different colors, I believe. You got silver, black, and the blue, the light blue. The bottom panel and the top panel are chrome plated. Oh, you can see my camera. Look at that. Ooh. Hey, look, that's my face. Anyway, so they're chrome plated. It's a very durable device. This was the first advanced mod, the APV that I owned. This one right here. Now to the MVP V2. All right. So it's basically the same thing. It looks the same, it functions the same. But all I'm gonna do now is go over the differences between the V1 and the V2. This is the V2. What you just saw was the V1. Alright. So first noticeable difference, the button is not flush mount. It is raised off the body. Still a pretty clicky button. However, the pull on this button is significantly stronger than the pull on the V1. I love using this device. I don't like how hard I have to push this button. It's like it's working. I gotta work to vape. I don't necessarily like that. Maybe other ones are different. Maybe this I got a significantly strong button. I don't know, but that's the first thing I've noticed. And I have seen a couple other reviews that have mentioned that, so I'm going to go ahead and say that that's how they all are. Maybe not. The bottom looks exactly the same. You got your charging port right here, USB, on-off switch. You notice that the bottom and the top plates are not chrome. They are what looks to be like a brushed aluminum, which is nice. They don't get dirty. They're not fingerprint magnets like this guy is. Let's see if I can get those fingerprints on camera. Oh, look at that. See all those fingerprints? Mm-hmm. That's disgusting. So, brushed aluminum, raised button, same bottom. Now the connection looks the same, but it's actually not. You see how the very bottom threads, there's more on the V2 than there is on the V1. And that's the only thing that makes a difference with those threads is the beauty ring that you can put on it. This is the beauty ring for the V2. Just like that. Let's see if I have the beauty ring for the V1. Of course I don't. I have it somewhere. I just don't know where. Oh, hold on one second. Got it. That's the beauty ring for the V1. It protrudes from the side a little bit. I feel like that's just a design flaw. Someone overlooked that. You can see that the 510 connection is raised a little bit, but you can flush mount by just unscrewing the beauty ring right there. Now it's flush, which very, very well thought out on that one. Beauty ring on the V2, it does not protrude. That's as far down as it's screwed, and so it basically starts flush mounted, which I guess is okay, but I don't have very many recessed devices that I would need to unscrew this to get it to look flush mounted. But if you do, just know that there's not really any room for play in there. Now, you can see the size of that hole. That is obviously not the stock hole that comes with it. There's two airflow holes and they're both that size. That makes for a pretty tight draw if you have this beauty ring on. So I just took one, drilled it out. I don't remember how big that is, but I know it's pretty redonkulous, pretty big. I did the same thing on my other one. That's the stock beauty hole, or the airflow hole. Drilled it out to about there. You can see the differences in the beauty rings, V1, V2, and no, they are not interchangeable. The V2 beauty ring does not fit on the V1. It does not screw in at all. See, that's all the way down, but it's not actually screwed in. And I don't believe that this one will screw into here. Nope, it's too narrow. It won't even catch a thread. That's, my friends, is the MVP V1 from Innokin. versus the MVP V2. Oh, I almost forgot the most important part. Holy crap. The V2 is not only variable voltage, but it's variable wattage too. It's variable voltage 3.3 to 5 just like the V1, and variable wattage 6 to 11 watts in 0.5 increments. Now, I can't believe I almost forgot that. Also, with the V2, something that the V1 does not have is an ohm reader. So, you can put on any device. This is a Bogue Cardo. Probably going to read about 3 ohms. Hold the 2 buttons, or just touch the 2 buttons, just like the VV by Innokin. Touch the 2 buttons. Oh, yep. Was that right? Yeah. Amps, what the hell? 2.8, and my battery power is 3.8. I believe that said. So you touch both of the little up down, not the up down, the power and the voltage buttons. You touch them both together, 2.8 ohms, and then the volts of your battery that's left is displayed. You can see there's a P and a U. They're not up down buttons. So in order to change the setting you have, say I want to put this at 11 watts. So I hold the P, you're going to see your puff counter, and 11 watts. So, but you can't go down. So you have to round robin. So if you go to 11 and you want to go to 10.5, you have to go all the way through until you get to 10.5. But while you're at this menu, as soon as you, if you're on watts, let's get there again. Damn it. And you hit the volt button, it'll switch you over to the volts. And whatever is left on the screen, leave it at 5 volts. Whatever is left on the screen when it turns off is what the setting is going to be. So now it's at 5 volts. Performing just fine. This is the blue color. You probably can't see it that well. The lighting sucks right now. It's really late at night, and this room has horrible lighting that will be fixed soon. I asked for a good studio light for Christmas. Hopefully my wife remembers that. We'll see come New Year's time if there's better lighting in this room. That's what I have to say. This is one of my everyday vapes. I go in between this and my Vapor Shark DNA. Before I got the Vapor Shark DNA, this was my everyday vape. And before this was my everyday vape, this was my everyday vape. They are sturdy, sturdy, sturdy devices. Let's see if I can figure out what it's actually made out of. Let's see. Okay, so I can't tell you exactly what it is made out of. But I want to say it's like it's some sort of metal. I know that. It's not plastic by any means. I've chucked this thing across the room before, and it's still in perfect working condition. There's just a few scratches on it. Like, you can see a little scratch right there. You can see a little scratch right there. And that's the V1. The V2 is made out of the exact same thing. There's nothing different about the shell. I just saw something that I probably should have mentioned. Oh, both of them have a 10 second automatic cutoff. So if you're vaping it, watch the light. Wow. It will flash at you once you've hit and held the button for 10 seconds straight, and it will cut off automatically. And that has something to do with saving the battery from overcharging or over discharging. Speaking of over discharging, it does have over discharge protection, so and you can figure out where your battery is. On this one, it's got the battery volts, so you can tell more accurately. It still does have the standard Innokin green, yellow, red indicator for a quick view. I believe if you're in the green, you're above 50% battery. Yellow is like 20 to 50%, and then red is anything below 20%. Same thing with this. It's got the green, yellow, red indicator. However, it does not have either an ohm meter or a voltage check. Of your battery. It's just puff counter, and then whatever setting you want. That's all that the screen displays. This screen is displayed in the color red, and this one, the V2, is displayed in blue. Same color as the VTR right there. It's displayed in blue. It's the same exact screen. That is all I got for the V1, V2 MVP from Innokin. If you have any questions, please let me know. One other thing I do want to mention real quick. The battery life on these devices is untouchable. When I first bought this, I purchased this so I could give this to my wife. She got my hand-me-down V1. I got the V2. I purchased it. It came on yellow, so I vaped it that night until it went to red. Completely discharged the battery, charged it up, and vaped it for 4 days before I had to charge it again. Now, I consider myself a medium high to a heavy vapor. And any chance I get, I'm vaping. And that mainly has to do with the fact that I'm down to about a 3 nic. I mix 6 and 0 to get a 3. So I vape a lot because I like to get my nicotine, but I vape a lot also because I just enjoy vaping. At work, anytime I have a break, I'll go out with all the smokers and just chill in the smoke pit like I used to do before I vaped. But I'll just sit there and I'll just toot away. And so I was able to use this for 4 days straight. This was the same way. Obviously this has been used for almost a year now, so the battery life on it is depleted a little bit. But the V2 is still going strong. Still get 3 to 4 days of vape time on it. I will say, once you hit red though, on either of these devices, if you see the red light as you're vaping, it is time to put it on a charger, or that time is coming near. So make sure that if you're in the red and you want to keep vaping, that you have a charger nearby if you're not at home, because personal experience, I vaped my MVP2 at work. It was on yellow and it had just turned to red. My buddy asked me, he's like, hey, can I try that? I was like, sure. trying to get someone else into the vaping world, and he actually is now. But he took a 2, and he's like, "Ooh, that tastes really good. What is it?" And I was like, "That's pomegranate menthol." He's like, "Wow, that's really good." He took another 2, gave it back. I went to take a 2, and it just flashed at me. Your battery's dead. Son of a gun! That's what I said. Luckily, I had a charger nearby, but if I hadn't, I would have been a very unhappy camper. Now I'm just rambling. So, both spectacular devices. I don't think you can buy the V1 in a store anymore. So, what you're gonna have to do is probably order this online. I know Fast Tech carries it. I know they're still selling them. There's probably a couple companies online that are still trying to get rid of stock. I know you can buy the V2. Let's see, on Fast Tech, the V1 is $45.16. That comes with 2 iClear 16s. It comes with a charging cord, the beauty ring, and the mod itself. Let's see if the itaste MVP. Let's see if they have the V2. Looks like the V2. Is this the V2? Yeah, this is the V2. So the V2 is the exact same price on Fast Tech, $45.16. If you want to buy it from Fast Tech, there you go. I would give this complete thumbs up from me on both devices. Now you've seen both of them side by side comparison. Not too much difference, but a significant difference at the same time in the fact that the V2 is variable voltage and variable wattage, has an ohm reader, and displays your current battery output. The V1 does not, but is still variable voltage. Clicky button, you can charge your phone off of it in times of need. Very handy, by the way. That about wraps it up. I want you guys to email me at jkvapes@gmail.com if you have any questions, or comment below. Please subscribe, tell your friends, and most of all, stay classy, YouTube.